Hello everyone, I hope you're all happy and well. Tonight I'll be telling you a special story which my dad, Derek Taylor, who is now 85 years old and has just had his birthday, thought of many years ago, and my sister Marie Barber helped to write it for us today. We hope you all enjoy it. So get yourselves comfy and I will begin. The story is called Paper Plane and a Caterpillar called Jeffrey. It was a wet and windy Saturday afternoon in May. Sam and his dad were painting the spare room in readiness to welcome Sam's new sister, who was due in a few months' time. Sam had had enough of painting. He was tired and fed up. He longed to be outside playing in the garden or at the park feeding the ducks from the bridge over the village pond. Sadly, the weather was just too bad, even for wellies and the Macintosh. "Dad, I'm bored. Can we take a break?" asked Sam. Sam's dad ruffled his son's head and nodded. "Come on, son, let's go downstairs and grab a sandwich and some squash. We'll take a little break from it. You've worked hard this morning. I'm sure your mother'll be really pleased when she sees what you've been doing." Sam's mum had gone off on a shopping trip with his auntie. They were looking for pots to put in the room that Sam and his dad were decorating. She had asked Sam if he wanted to go with them, but he hadn't, preferring to stay home and help his dad in the warmth and dry. As they sat at the table, Sam's dad picked up yesterday's newspaper and started to tear a page out of it, folding the paper and crafting, before Sam's eyes, a paper plane. "Cool," said Sam. "Can I fly it?" "Sure," said his dad. And with that, Sam launched the paper plane into the air. It flew well, swooping and diving, entertaining Sam until it was time to return to the painting in the spare room. They returned to what would soon be the nursery. Sam left the paper plane on the window-sill ledge and picked up his paintbrush, ready to start painting. What he wasn't expecting was a sharp gust of wind to catch the paper plane and send it across the room, where it circled and headed straight out the window and towards the garden below. "Oh no!" Sam exclaimed. Sam's dad smiled. "Oh well, I'll just have to make another one. Hopefully the weather will cheer up later and we can fly it at the park." Sam shrugged. "I guess so." Meanwhile, the little paper plane hadn't gone very far when the rain dampened its wings and sent it careering to the ground, where it lay wet and useless until the next day. The following morning brought warmth and brightness. The wind had died down and was replaced with a pleasant breeze. The sound of songbirds filled the air, and rabbits dotted the landscape, their little white tails bobbing in the sunlight. It so happened that a caterpillar was taking his morning stroll across the lawn when he came across a strange object which he had never seen before. "Oh my! Oh my! Oh my!" he thought. "What could this be?" He decided to take a closer look and approach what looked like slightly like a bird with its wings outstretched. The caterpillar, whose name was Jeffrey, had a dream. It was to be able to fly. He had watched the birds, the bees and butterflies gracefully fly past. He imagined swooping across the bright blue sky with not a care, to be able to see the great vast world from above, rather than his limited view being very close to the ground. He looked at his round, squashy body and despaired. Nothing very aerodynamic about it in the slightest, let alone wings. Geoffrey got closer still to the object, and sensing that it posed no danger, decided to make a slow ascent onto it, to examine it further. He'd just launched himself onto the main body of the paper plane, when a sudden gust of air caught it, which had now dried it out from the morning sun. It launched itself, and a rather surprised Geoffrey, up and away into the sky. It took his breath away, and Geoffrey was scared at first as the paper plane swept skyward. But soon, then the feeling of the air around him and the spectacular view calmed his nerves, and he realized he was flying. "I'm flying! I'm flying!" he yelled. "Look at me! I'm higher than a kite. I'm as free as a bird and as happy as a sparrow." Geoffrey was having the time of his life as the little paper plane swooped and dived, then caught on a breeze again and ascended higher and higher towards the cottonwood clouds. It wasn't much longer before the breeze started to calm and the plane began to gradually descend. It passed over the little pond, over the trees, and slowly made its way back down to the ground. Geoffrey felt elated. He was sad that his journey was about to end, but how happy and excited had he been! How big the world was, and how wonderful! He was going to miss the feeling of flying, but felt so lucky that he'd got to experience it at least once in his life. As the little paper plane gently slid to a halt on the grass, Geoffrey slowly climbed down and off. He felt contented, yet still a little bit downhearted. He would probably never get the chance to fly again. After all, it was due to rain heavily overnight, and he doubted the strange object would be there even in the morning. As he made his way across the grass, a rabbit hopped alongside him. "Hi," said the little bunny in a soft voice. "Hello," said Geoffrey. "I haven't seen you round these parts before. Are you lost?" Geoffrey sighed. "Well, I am a bit, and I'm very far from home." It occurred to Geoffrey that it was getting dark and a bit chilly, and he was a little bit scared. "Well, there's plenty enough room in one burrow. If you would like, you can stay. If you get cold, you can snuggle in my fur. I really wouldn't mind, you know." Geoffrey brightened. "Oh, that would be very kind." Little Bunny smiled sweetly. "My name is Thomas," he said. "To save your legs, you could hop aboard, and I'll take you back now." Geoffrey nodded enthusiastically. "That would be good. I have had quite a day. I'll tell you all about it on the way back." So Geoffrey jumped on his friend's furry back and told Thomas all about how he'd always dreamt of being able to fly and the adventures that he'd had on the paper plane. Cuddled up late at night, Geoffrey confided that he was a little bit sad that he might never fly again. As he drifted into slumber, he relived the feeling of the wind on his little caterpillar body and the magnificent view of the countryside below. As he was about to drift off to sleep, he heard his friend say, "Sleep tight, my little green friend. You never do know. Dreams can come true." And with that, Geoffrey fell into a deep, deep, deep sleep. Geoffrey seemed to have been asleep for a very, very, very long time, and he seemed during his sleep to have gotten himself encased into some sort of wrapping, perhaps a leaf. It took a great deal of effort to push himself free, and during that time he started to remember the flight and the joy that it had brought him. Gradually, bit by bit, Geoffrey made his way out of whatever it was that was trapping him. He felt rather odd, a bit unlike himself. His friend must have taken him outside because he could feel the warmth of the sun on his little body. But wait, what was this? Slowly, something unfurled from Geoffrey's body, something bright and colourful that shimmered in the sunlight like a glorious rainbow. Geoffrey tried to move, but after a little effort realised that he could flap them. He started slowly, and as his confidence built, a little faster and a little faster, enjoying the feel of these funny extensions of himself. All of a sudden, Geoffrey started to gently lift from the ground. A few more flaps from what he was now recognising as wings, and he was airborne. He, Geoffrey, the caterpillar, was flying, actually flying, all by himself. Geoffrey just couldn't believe it. At first he thought he must be dreaming, but no, here he was, fluttering in the morning sun, bobbing from flower to flower. Just then Geoffrey noticed his little friend Thomas. "Hey Thomas, look at me! I can fly! I can really fly!" Thomas stood on his two hind legs and laughed at the sight of his little green caterpillar friend, who now had beautiful multicoloured wings. "Wow, Geoffrey!" he giggled. It's just like I said. Dreams really do come true. Back at Sam's house, Sam and his mum and dad were putting the final decorations up in the nursery. Sam's mum had been so pleased when she returned from shopping and found the spare room had been painted a pretty shade of pale pink. She had ordered the pot, and it had arrived and been assembled ready to welcome its tiny sleeper when the time came. There was just one final detail to add. Sam's dad took the hanging mobile from its box and positioned it over the cot, so the baby would be able to see the pretty dangling shapes and colours from below, dancing in the light. And do you know what form these bobbing bright objects took, dear readers? No, they were, of course, butterflies, a butterfly just like Geoffrey had become. Thank you for listening. As I said, my dad had just had his 85th birthday. And guess what cake we got him? Yes, that's right, it was a chocolate caterpillar cake, his favourite. I will be back on Sunday with another Mind Holiday, and my sister Marie Barber is busy writing another Edward Beetroot story for us on next Wednesday. She's hoping to make Edward Beetroot stories into a book. It would be so lovely to have some illustrations in it, and it would be especially nice if perhaps you could draw them. If you can, please post them here if you would like them to be used. I just want to remind you that you are safe and loved. Air hugs, air kisses. Night night. See you on Sunday.